Welcome, you've come this far. Well done, good on you. Just think of this process across the next month or two as an experiment of one. And the reality is that every time we do something for ourselves, we're literally experimenting on ourselves, because if we line up 10 people and give them exactly the same program, they will have different outcomes. And of course, people will have come to this program for different reasons. But I encourage you to follow it right through and to stick with it, especially for the first 30 days, because you need to know. You need to know what the real benefits are for you. Now, if you're someone who needs to lose a lot of weight, well, that may have to extend out to 6 weeks or 2 months to get those real benefits. Because part of what we're doing is shifting a thing called insulin resistance within the body. And the more weight a person carries, the more likely they are to be highly insulin resistant. And we want to change that and bring that back down so that insulin functions normally in your body. But of course, with the diet that you're on, and I loathe to use the word diet, but I can't think of another word. Diet simply means the food that we typically eat on a day-to-day basis. So on that basis, this is a diet. But unfortunately, in your mind, the word diet also means hunger and starvation. You do not go hungry. You are not supposed to go hungry. I don't want to hear anybody contacting me and saying, I'm hungry all the time, because we don't do that. We simply don't do that. You're welcome to contact me if you've got a problem. But here's the thing. If you look right through the program, you'll see that this program is approximately 25% carbohydrate, 25% protein and 50% fat. And you may be thinking, 50% fat? That's a huge amount of fat. I'll just have fat everywhere. Well, there's a lot of people eating that much fat already, but they're also putting lots of junk carbs in with it, and they're eating bad fats. But also, the average diet is around the 30 to 40% fat anyway. What we're talking about is eating in a way people ate back in the 60s and 50s, after the wars, and when things were a bit better, there was good food sources again. And that was before the 70s, when we started to get into fats are evil and supersizing and new methods of packaging and transporting foods, all of that. We're going back a little bit. So it's easy to get to the percentage of the fat. And the thing is, we're not going to count. What we're going to do is look at just portions. So here's the thing. You'll eat a normal amount of meat. If you're a vegetarian, well, to be honest, folks, I've got to put some of it back to you. You're going to have to think about this a little more. There's going to be some more cheeses used, maybe like halloumi and beans and lentils and so forth. But we want those protein sources. So we have normal portion sizes. If your portion sizes of meat are really big at the moment, just start there and then work backwards. Just shrink it backwards over the coming weeks. What we're dropping out is all grains, all sugars, all processed foods. Yes, that means no pizza, no muffins, no chips, no packaged lollies, nothing that contains sugars and is processed. So no grains means no wheat, no rice, no barley, no rye, plus no potatoes, and of course no corn. Potatoes actually enter the bloodstream as sugar as fast as raw sugar. Now, we do eat some sugar, and that's in the form of vegetables. So we're going to embrace vegetables. So basically, we're eating meat and vegetables. You'll see there are some recipe suggestions on the recipe page. There's a link. There's links just below here. You can have a look at. But typically for breakfast, I'll often have, say, an omelette, and I might have some tomatoes or mushrooms and maybe some spinach leaves, just like a trendy restaurant. In fact, we can easily make a breakfast better than a restaurant. But if you go to a restaurant, that's what you would eat. That's what you would eat when you go out. You don't have to have the big loads of bread and so forth. The there are so many ways we can eat and so many ways we can make this easy for ourselves. When I started, I did this intentionally in a way to not have lots of recipes sitting there. I just thought, I just want to walk into the kitchen and see what I can eat. And for dinner, it was meat and vegetables. The vegetables were greens and coloured vegetables. And so that's, but we left out the potato. You can have a small amount of sweet potato, but leave that for after 4 weeks. Have a bit along the way, but you can increase that after 4 weeks, because we really want to see. We want to see what effect this is having on your body as you lower the insulin. I make green smoothies. You'll see a video soon on how to make smoothies. Smoothies are fantastic because you can load lots of veg in there and you can make them tasty. You simply experiment with it. So the fats we're eating are what we call medium chain triglycerides. They're not the ones that are going to make you fat. They're good fuel sources. It's things like avocado, coconut oil, butter, and then monounsaturates such as olive oil. Become a friend of olive oil. Put more olive oil on salads and vegetables than you'd have. You can boil up, or lightly boil up a pot of vegetables and just put a big lashing of olive oil over it, some salt and pepper, and serve it with some meat. It's really good. Or you can stir fry your veg in olive oil. Coconut oil can be used in a lot of ways. Also coconut milk. I like to put coconut milk in my smoothies, coconut oil, and we just want to keep bringing the fat in. Why are we doing this? Because we're using fat as a fuel source and not sugar. Sugar is junk in your body. Sugar fuels inflammation, and sugar makes us fat. The reason it makes us fat is because we have a big whack of sugar, in comes the insulin, pulls it out of our bloodstream into the fat cells, and we've still got all that energy sitting there waiting to use, but now you feel hungry. When you're working on fat, that doesn't happen. When you're working with protein, that doesn't happen. Now, this is not a big, high protein diet like the old Atkins style diet. We're just looking at 25%. That is all the protein you'll need. And it doesn't matter whether you're going to the gym or exercising, that's plenty. It's simple, it's straightforward. Just do it. Now, you'll also see a link to another video, and I'm going to be talking about ways to keep yourself on track and keep yourself motivated. So I wish you all the best. I'm Ian Newton, and just do it for yourself. Thank you.